So log4 introduction has been started yesterday.
Log4j2 introduction we have seen yesterday. Okay.
Okay.
And we have also seen how to log it to a console. Okay. Basically what is a log file contains? Log4j2 configuration file contains. Log4j2 configuration file basically contains two sections. One is logger section and another one is appender section. Right? That's what like we have seen yesterday. So the configuration, if you see this, basically it contains two sections. One is logger section and another one is appender section. Okay. Logger section tells you what level of information has to be logged. Okay. For example, we have like all these things, right? Trace, debug, info, warn, error, and fatal. These are the different kinds of information, level of information that we can log. So this logger section, it will tell you what level of information. I am saying like fatal here. That means only this information will be logged, not any other information. Okay. If you say the trace, so starting from here, trace, debug, info, warn, error, and fatal information will be logged. Okay. That's what logger section tells. And also it contains a reference to the appender section. So what does the appender section tells? Appender section tells where exactly it has to log. For example, in this one we have given the appender reference as console1. Okay, so in the appender section it goes to the particular section. Where is this console? So this is where like console1. What is the tag for this one? This is console. That means it logs the information to the console. Okay, so this is what like the pattern. So this is what we have discussed yesterday. And also we have seen about the next section, how to log into a file. Okay, in the file information we have seen that. Okay, so this is the loggers information. This loggers section, it contains appenders reference as logger file. And if you go here, okay, so this is the name for the, so sorry, for logging into a console we use console here, but for logging into a file we use rolling file. Okay, and we have to give the file name and file pattern. Okay, and we also have to give this size based triggering policy size. Okay, so we have two things here, one is file name and another one is file pattern. So file name means initially the first time it will be created with this one, with this name, output.log. From the once the size is filled up in this one, from the second time onwards it will be created with this file pattern type, output-date format we are creating. Okay, so this is what like we have discussed yesterday. And also yesterday we have also discussed about how to we have seen this Selenium. Okay, so we have seen this one, how to log like different levels of information. I think it's in a different this is the one. Yeah, how to log like different levels of information to different for different packages. So here if you see we have two logger files here. Okay, the logger file like for one logger file for one package we are printing the level information only. For another logger file we are printing error info only. For everything else we are printing trace. Okay, so this is how like we can do. We can have like different logger section and we can also have a root level. We have seen this one yesterday.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Um, Sorry because I missed yesterday. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I will go through the recording later on. But basically, in summary, like what does this log4j2 and this logger information where exactly we use it?
Okay. So
Uh,
yeah, yes, one.
yeah, where exactly we use it actually in our scripting?
Okay.
Is that like basically to log the
Just,
information of
just yeah,
what kind of logs?
just to create logs, we use this one. So if you know, like generally, like we have this logs. Generally, developers use this one. Okay.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
see developers generally, like if they find an issue in production or something, what they do generally, they go into the log files.
yeah, true.
They go into the
Yeah,
log files and verify verify the log files based on the kind of error. For example, if it is an error, they search for the particular time and particular messages in the log file. Basically they are notepad files only, text files only. Okay, but they will search it. They, basically that is used for debugging purpose generally.
Yeah, to find root cause or debugging. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, root cause. Okay, to find the root cause of a particular issue. Okay, they use these log files. Okay, but now we have got some tools like Splunk, which will analyze those log files, and it is easy to analyze the log files now. Okay, but log files are basically created for debugging purpose. Okay, and similarly in automation scripts also we can use these log files, because this is also our automation also is nothing but a programming, right? Basically, so
Okay, to find out where our
if something
scripting is
happens,
failing.
yeah, we can go through the log files also. But generally, in my projects that I worked so far, I haven't used these log files. But basically, I have seen some other projects where people are using these log files, where I have helped like one of the teams in setting up these log files. Okay, in some projects people use these log files, some projects not, but you have to be aware of what these log files are, how do we set them up.
Okay.
Okay, that's why I'm telling you. It may not
Okay.
be
Thank you.
really useful for automation testers, because if something goes wrong, then we can generally debug the script, and we can identify what is happening in the script. But you still need to know what these log files are. Okay, because if people may not ask you any questions also in this on these log files. Basically people want to ask you most of the interviews that I have faced with, people never ask me any questions on the log files. And also I haven't asked anyone in the interviews that I have taken, I haven't asked anyone about these log files. Okay, still when you are working in real time, if you come across these log files, this will be useful for you.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Okay, okay, fine. Now let us see how to uh, uh, log the information for into different files for different packages. Okay, so now let us go into Eclipse. Where is Eclipse? Yeah, okay, in this one let me change this one to do one thing. Let me only just give 1 second. Okay, so I have created this one, so let me update this one here. So what I'm doing is let me copy this one. This is all basically configuration only. Mostly it is configuration only. So you just have to understand these configuration files. That's all. Okay, so here what we are doing is we are saying that okay. So here what we are doing is, see, we have two logger sections here. In the logger section, what we are doing is, so let me give you PK, this package name PK1 log4j2 practice. Practice. Let me copy this one, PK1 log4j2 practice. Okay, cancel. Let me give this name here for this one, PK2. Okay, so what we are doing is we have two logger section and one root section. So for the first logger section, we are saying that, yeah, so for this package pk1 log4j2 practice, okay, we have created three packages yesterday: pk1 log4j2 practice, pk2 log4j2 practice, pk3 log4j2 4j2 practice, and we have three different programs under this one. Okay, so what I'm saying is, for this pk1 log4j2 practice, so this is the pk1 log4j2 practice. The level of information that has to be logged is error. That means starting from error, it will be logged. Where it has to be logged, I'm saying this, go to this package1 logs appender file. So if you go to this appender section, this is the package1 logs. Okay, in the package1 logs, I'm saying that, okay, this is a rolling file. That means it has to be logged into a file. So what is the file name here? The file name is $basepath/package1 underscore output dot log. Okay. So what is this $basepath? We can have like properties in this one. So this properties section, we are saying that the base path is /logs. That means this is the folder we are creating. So here it is log folder /package1 underscore output dot log. This is what like it will be created. So for package1, it will be logged into this package1 underscore output dot log. Okay, and this file pattern is like this one. The file pattern should be $basepath/package1 underscore output hyphen this one. This is the file pattern. Okay, that means the first and also like if you see the size of the file that should be created is 500 kilobytes here. So we are saying the size based trigger policy. Okay, triggering policy, and the size is 500. That means the first time it is created, like it will be created with package1 underscore output. Sorry, this is pattern line. Oh, sorry, this is the file name. Okay, the first time it is created, it will be created with package1 underscore output dot log, and from the second time onwards, it will be created package1 underscore output hyphen date format it will use. Okay, similarly, for the second one, which is package2 log4j2 practice, so we are saying that go to package2 logs. So the package2 logs is here. It is again a rolling file, and the file name is again this logs/package2 underscore output dot log, and then from the next time onwards, like once again like this 500 kilobytes is filled up, then it will starts creating package2 underscore output hyphen date format. Okay, now for everything else, root level is equal to trace, and append reference is console. And if you go to the name console here, so it is saying that it is console. That means it will be printed to the console, and this is the pattern level. That's all. Okay. So now, and just remember that whatever the folder like that you are creating, and wherever you are placing this one, you have to make sure that this is under our configuration path. That means for this one, just right click on the folder and go to build path, somewhere yeah, this build path, and go to configure file. Okay, under source folder, just add folder, click on add folder, and make sure that you add that folder, resources folder, to the configuration path. Okay, to the build path. Okay, once you add that one, then only it will work. Otherwise, if you don't add this one to the build path, it won't work. The log4j won't work. So make sure that, and moreover, whatever the configuration file that you are using, it should be with log4j2.xml only. That's why I renamed everything else to _1 _2, so they won't be effective. Only this one will be effective. Okay, now let me go to this program one. So in the program, this program is log.trace, log.debug, log.info, log.warn, log.error. So like this, I'm using. So this is under package 1. Okay, package 1. So based on our configuration file for package 1, what is the level of information that will be logged? So it will be error. Okay, from error. That means only it will log this this one, error and fatal information. It will log. It won't log like the remaining things. Okay, so let me go and remove these log files for the time being. Okay, I have removed this one, and I am running this program one. Run as Java application. Okay, let us see. Okay, so this is completed. Now let me refresh this project. Refresh this one. Now you can see the logs folder created here. Okay, so it is saying like package1 underscore output. It has created like I am error, I am fatal, and then it has also created a package2. Package2 is currently empty. Okay, so now again if I go into this first package, first program, and if I run this one again, run as Java application. Okay, this is done. Let's refresh these log files. Okay, and let's go to this package. So it again updated again the information from error and fatal. Let me run this program again. Run as Java application. Completed. Let me refresh this one. So again, like it is this one only. It has logged for 6 times in this one. Let me run this one again just to make just to show you that it is creating a second file. I'm running it multiple times. Okay, let me refresh this logs. Okay, so now in this first file the 500 information is filled up, so it is moving this one to the second file. Okay, so if you see this one, so in this file we have all these things, but again it created another file, and now it started logging into the new file. Okay, now similarly the package2 is right now it is empty. So if you run any file under this one, it has to log into this package file. So let me close these things. One output. Let me close everything else. Okay, let's close others. Okay, so I am opening this package2 program. Now I am running this package2 program. Run as Java application. Sorry. Okay, now if I refresh this one, so you can see that in the package2 output log, it is presenting everything. Okay, and trace message debug, because starting from trace we are printing everything. Okay, for package2, if you look at this log4j2 xml here. Okay, so for package2 depender section is package2.log. so for package2.log, okay, but the level of information that has to be logged is trace. That means starting from trace it will print everything. Okay, so for everything else it has to depender, it will go to root section, and the reference is console. So if you go into this console section, okay, the name appender, under appenders we have name is equal to console section, so it has to be logged to console. Okay, so if I run this program 3, it has to log to console. Okay, run as Java application. Okay, it is logging to console. Okay, so do you understand how to log to different files, or to how to use different appender sections for different packages? Or any questions on this one?
I think we understood. I think I have understood, but how it will be used in that car rental? That is the only I'm waiting for.
I'll come to that point, but do you understand until this point?
Yeah, yeah, this I have understood.
Okay, now let me take a script from here, from the car rental one. Okay, let me go into this car rental pages where we are verifying this car. Okay, let me take the same script. Okay, let me take the same script and just putting it here under this car rental pages. I am putting it. Okay, so now sorry guys, let me open this one. So in this one we have opened this one. Okay, so this one. Okay, so now in order to use our loggers, how to create logs for in any for automation script. Okay, the first thing you have to do is you have to create the logger object. Okay, so I'm just copying this one, I'm putting it outside of this one. So this is a logger object I have created. Okay, once you create this logger object, what is the next step? It is just okay, say that log dot we'll say log dot info. Okay, we'll say that. Okay, what is this one? This is a home page header, right? So car rental pages. In the car rental pages, what exactly we are verifying? Okay, we are going into okay, yeah, navigation to home page successful. Okay, similarly Okay, yeah. Okay, let me, you can log like any information that you want. Okay, that's it. You understand this one, right? It's simple, like whatever, like we are just creating a logger object, and we are logging the we are using that logger object to log the information into this one. Okay, now actually, but like here, like in our log4j2 section, we are saying that like for the we have put this one on the package one, right? So for the package one, let me change this one from error to trace, so that we can trace like everything. And let me remove this log folder. So here, remove this one. So if I go into parental pages, now if I run this one, run a Java application. Okay, so Chrome driver is started and it is going into different pages and done. Okay, now if I refresh this one, okay, now if I go into logs and if I open this package one, see, you can see that navigation to home page successful, navigation to about page successful. So like this, you can basically you can log anything into the logger files, okay, which will be useful for your debugging purpose. Okay, this is how. Okay, so Ankur, are you good now, like with this one, how to use the loggers logger section in our actual script?
Yeah, it's good, Subbu, but like I just wanted to know like if there will be any negative thing, like any code is missing, then how it will be get, like how it will be reacting, like.
It depends on, like see, when we are actually doing it, like okay, wherever you think that, like for example, like you are using like a try catch blocks. Okay,
Yeah.
in the catch block, so what do you do generally? Let's say, like you are using like some try catch blocks, and in the catch blocks, what do you do generally?
If any,
You will print the error message information.
yeah, yeah,
But where do you print that one generally?
in console.
To the console, but
Yeah.
but the console will be refreshed for each and every program, right? For each and every script, you will be having multiple number of scripts, right?
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
something wrong happens, like with your scripts, and it goes into the catch block, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it will print the information to the console, but whenever it is trying to run the next script, the console will
Mm-hmm.
be refreshed,
Yeah.
right? So you cannot like know like what the exact error is. In those cases, you can
Mm-hmm.
log that particular catch block information to a to a file, to a log file.
Okay, okay.
You got it?
Yeah, no, I got it. It will be every time I will be running the script, it will be saving all of the information
I mean,
without erasing the previous.
any errors, any exceptions, okay? Because that we don't really print it to this one. Where is it? To the console. We don't really print anything to the console in the actual script, because the console will be refreshed each time with a new script. I mean, with the new automation script that you are running, okay, it will be refreshed with that information.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. So in those cases, you can log it to a file, so that if something wrong happens, you can go into the log file and you can verify what that catch block exception it has caused.
Yeah,
Got it?
got it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So in those cases, like you can use these log files, and not only that, one basically anything like you can log into log file. Okay, all you have to know is maybe at this point it might be a little bit confusing, like where exactly like we use this one. But once you do it like in a real project, all you have to know is you have to know how to use this one, how to use the logger files. That's all. Okay. Any other questions on this one?
Not from my side.
Okay.
Oh, just to be clear, like log files, we made it a, let's say, folder so that it is good and readability. It is nicely organized, right?
Yeah, we have
Logs
create,
folder,
we are
yeah,
creating a separate folder here. Okay.
folder. And
Well,
resources also, we create separate folder because log4j will be writing in XML. Is
yeah,
that
this
right?
is the configuration file. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Log4j2.xml is the configuration file. So we put the configuration
And
file in a separate folder, and then
uh,
we are adding it to the build path. We have to add this folder to the build path. Then only it works. Okay, go to the
okay.
build path, configuration build path, and then add it to the source tab here. Click on add folder, and I have already
Uh,
added this one. That's why it is showing like that it is already added. If it is not added, for example, if you want to add like servers folder, just select this one and click on OK. So the servers also will be added to the source folder, but we don't need this one. But so it is the folder that contains the log4j.xml. We have to add it to the build path, then only it will work. Otherwise, it doesn't know
okay.
like where your configuration file is.
Okay. And all the, let's say, scriptings will be under, let's say, under package actually, right?
I mean, like wherever like you write the automation, where do you write the automation scripts? We create like different packages, and that's where
Yeah.
like we write the scripts. We write our automation scripts.
Yeah. I'm trying to understand the connection between this,
See,
you have given the file name and,
okay.
log
Let me
virtual
let me
file.
let me show you like the project actually, so that like you'll understand. Until you do your project, like you may not be able to understand this one like fully. Okay, let me show you this one. Okay, so this is the project like I have created for this one. So
Okay.
if you see this one, okay, basically the source slash main slash Java, this is where we write our automation scripts. Okay,
Okay.
and if you see here, we have discussed about the page object model. Page object model is like to create repository, object repository. That means all the element location techniques will move to this for this package. That's why car rental dot user dot pages, and our scripts are under scripts folder, scripts
Okay.
package, and all the common functionality I have put it under this common car rental dot common. Okay, this is where like we have all the common functions. Okay,
Methods. Yeah.
and this is the base script. I will explain you when we do the project, but based on our need we'll create different packages under source slash main slash Java.
Okay.
Okay, so now if you see, we have like something called properties folder. We'll see this one, what this properties file is in TestNG. Okay, and then
Okay.
we have a reports folder where we store all our reports, the extent reports that we have seen. We store the results,
Mhm.
the reports under this reports folder, and the servers folder, it contains like all our driver.exe files. Okay, and
Okay.
the target folder again like surefire reports and all these things, like we have surefire. Yeah, this target folder, when we use the TestNG, like we'll discuss this one. Test output also will be created like this. So based on our needs, like we'll create all these different things. All our main programs are will be under this one.
Okay.
Okay, and again I think like I should also have a resources folder here where I should have added okay, so because like we are using this logs output into this one. Okay, somewhere I should have a resources folder, or like I might have added. Okay, yeah, log config. See, under log config
Yeah.
I have my log4j2 XML put here, and I have added to the build path. That's why I'm seeing some symbol here. Okay,
Okay.
and TestNG, you will see it later. Maven and Maven dependencies, all the Maven dependencies that we have added, they come and sit under this one. Okay, and so
Not
this
in
is
the pom.xml.
so yeah, yeah, under the pom.xml. Okay,
Okay.
whatever like dependencies that we add under pom.xml, they come and like load into this Maven dependencies folder. Okay, that is
Okay.
fine. We don't need to like worry about this one. It will automatically load everything. Okay, but you can see that like in all our scripts we are writing it, whether it is Java functionality, like this common means it is all like this is about like Excel common functions we have to read the data from the Excel. Okay, this one and this one, the pages, all the page object model pages we have written it here. Okay, all our actual scripts I have written it under user.scripts. Okay, and then I have created of course it will automatically create a logs folder to store the log files, and properties to store the properties file. Okay, we'll see this one, properties file in our TestNG. Okay, and all our extent reports, they will be stored under reports folder. All our servers we have stored it under servers folder. Okay, and then we have pom.xml and testng.xml also we'll see. Okay, this is the project structure, like that we will create. Okay, you understand this one, Suman, right?
Yeah. Now I got an idea how the structure is actually.
So now what you have to do is like learn all the different topics that I'm telling you. Okay, so that when you actually reach to this project one, then I'll show you like how to use all these things combinedly. Then you will get a full understanding of this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions on these log files? Okay, fine. Now let me see these interview questions.
Every time that whatever output we will be getting in the console, that is going to be stored in the log file. That is the whole thing, right?
Yeah, not only this information, any other information that you want to log to your log file, you can log it.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm just giving you an example. Like for example, if you are using like the try catch exceptions, okay, and and if the execution goes into a catch file, generally right now so far we have seen only that like it will log into this uh, what is it, console, our console, but generally we don't log we don't print any information to into console. Only like when we are debugging something, then we can say we can print something to the console, but generally we don't print anything into the console. Okay, so that information you can log it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so now coming to the interview questions, generally like these are like just I have written these interview questions, but okay, mostly like you may not be asked any questions on this log4j2. This is only thing is that you have to know how to use that one, because in case in future like when you are working on an automation project and people are saying that okay we have to use log4j2, you don't need to be surprised with that one. Okay. Okay, so now what is log4j2 configuration file? Okay, it is log4j or log4j2. Okay, log4j2 configuration file is an XML file which is used by log4j2 framework to find out what information like info, error, etc. to be logged, how to log, and where to log it. Okay, this is what we have seen this one, right? So this is what we know, how to log it and where to log it. Okay, what information to be logged, how to log it. So how to log it is using pattern layout. Where to log it is using appender section. Okay, so this will have a logger section and appender section basically. Okay, what if we don't use the log4j2 configuration? If you don't use log4j2 configuration file, it will use default configuration file, and debug and info messages won't be print. It will print only error and fatal information. Right, we have seen this one also. If you don't use log4j2 configuration, log4j2 configuration file, what it will do? It will use the default configuration file and it will print only error and fatal information, but not the other information like debug info, warning, trace, those messages. Okay, and which tags in log4j2 define where to log the information? So appender section. Appender section, it tells you like where to log, whether you have to log, you want to log it to console or you want to log it to rolling file. Okay, which tags in section define how to log, pattern layout. Okay, how to log, like we have seen this one, this pattern layout. Which tags in log4j to determine what information to log? So loggers tag. Loggers tag contains the level of information that has to be logged. Okay, and it can have again logger and root tags in this one. Okay, these two tags contain an attribute level. Okay, if the level is trace, all the information, info, debug, error, fatal, etc. will be printed. If the level is error, only error and fatal information will be logged. Okay, what is the difference between logger and a root? Okay, if you have multiple packages and for one package, if you want to only errors and fatal information should be logged, and for other you want all the information to be logged, then you can mention that one package where you want only error and fatal information to be logged under logger tag with level as error, and under root you can mention the level as trace. That means whatever we mention under logger tag, it will log only the error and fatal information. So we can also mention the package name. For everything else, it will take the root package. We have seen this one. You remember this one, right? We have seen this one like a couple of times earlier. Okay, just go through that the configuration files and you understand. So how do you log a file? Just explain this one if somebody asks you. Okay, basically we use the configuration file, log4j2 configuration file, and it contains two sections. One is logger section and the next one is appender section. Logger section tells you what level of information has to be logged. So here we can have again logger and root tags in that one. So here we can mention the level as error, trace, etc. And the appender section tells you like where exactly it has to be logged. That means it can be console or it can be rolling file. Okay, so this is how we can log information into a log file. Okay, and how to log to different. Okay, so this one like just go practice these examples. Like we have already seen this one, how to log into different files or for different packages. Okay, just in the logger section mention the different logger sections and mention the name of the package and the level of the level that we want to log, and give the appender reference. In the appender reference, okay, then mention it like whether it is a rolling file or console, and we can log it to that particular different file. Okay, so these are all the questions basically. Okay, so just like practice the examples like that I have shown you, and these ones like these interview questions you can easily answer. Okay, so any questions on this one? I'll log4j2.
All clear for me. So
Okay, fine. Okay, so now let me close all these things. One second, guys. Yeah, sorry, guys. Okay, so now this log4j2 information is completed. Now let's go into the TestNG. Okay, so TestNG is an important one. Okay, so you need to practice this one, because you will get a lot of questions, interview questions from this TestNG. Okay, so now let's see what is TestNG. Okay, TestNG is basically a testing framework. Okay, you might have heard of this JUnit, right? JUnit or NUnit. So does anyone know what is a JUnit?
basically, you when you are explaining that that dependencies, no, then only you have given a little bit idea of JUnit.
No, I mean,
And
do you know what JUnit is?
I think for it is
Is
for
that
used for unit testing.
To write and execute the automated test.
I mean, not like automated test, but generally JUnit, which is called like Java unit testing. Okay, it is used by Java developers for unit testing. Okay, NUnit is for ASP. Okay, .NET NUnit, and JUnit is for Java. Okay, they are used for unit testing. That means at the code level, okay, we will write the tests. Tests are written by the Java developers and they execute that one. Okay, so unit test cases will be executed by Java developers. Okay, similarly for automation, they have developed something called TestNG. This TestNG is inspired from JUnit and NUnit. Okay, basically it is similar to like the framework of JUnit and NUnit. Okay, so what is the importance of JUnit? For example, let us say you have developed like three test scripts under this one. Okay, so now like we have developed like multiple test scripts under this one, and if I want to execute like these test scripts, what I have to do? I have to right click on each of these and I have to execute this one, right? That's what I have to do at this moment. Basically, I have to execute all the scripts individually, one by one. Okay, now if I want to execute on the Firefox, now I have to right click and execute this one. Like that, okay, we have to execute all these things individually, one by one. We have to execute. Okay, so but let's say like you have like hundreds of scripts. What do? Can we execute like one by one? We should have a mechanism which will trigger all those test cases one by one. So that's what like we can achieve with the TestNG. Okay, you have developed like 3 test cases and you can execute these 3 test cases one by one. For example, you have 100 test cases and if you have to run all these test cases, you can't run this one by one 100 times. In these cases, TestNG is very useful where you can group all these test cases and run them automatically one by one. TestNG is a test framework which is inspired from JUnit and NUnit. Do you understand this one? If you have like 100 test cases and if you want to run all those scripts without any human interventions, okay, one by one, then you can use TestNG. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, so that is the main importance of like why we use TestNG. Okay, so how? So for this one, like first you need to install TestNG in Eclipse. Okay, you need to install TestNG in Eclipse. So how do you install this one? Okay, this is like earlier we used to do this way. We can I think like the installation instructions. Let me see if this really works now or not. Let me go into this one. Install from update site. Install new software, enter the update URL in work with field. Okay, so how to okay, first, okay, let me show you this one. So the first thing like you have to do is you have to install TestNG in your Eclipse. Okay, the first time. Okay, so for this one, what you can do is you can go into let me see, should have like somewhere here the marketplace here. So let me, yeah, Eclipse marketplace. Okay, just click on this one. It takes like some time actually to load, so let it load. Okay, so search here with the TestNG. Okay, so here you can see that like TestNG for Eclipse. Then click on install. You will see something like this install button. For me it is already installed, that's why it is showing like installed. Okay, so just click on TestNG for Eclipse. That is how you can install TestNG directly into your Eclipse. Okay, so let me explain you like one more time. You don't need to like follow this procedure actually. that is mentioned in this one, like where installing TestNG in Eclipse, like you have to go to this page, like where it shows you how to install this one. Okay, so this section you don't need to worry at this moment, because in earlier days, in order to install TestNG into Eclipse, we used to go this way, but now, okay, it is simple. You just need to go to this Eclipse marketplace, which is under help, okay, which is under Eclipse marketplace. Okay, go to help, Eclipse marketplace. It will take like some time to load, okay, initially. Okay, once that is done, search here with the words TestNG, okay, and it will show you TestNG for Eclipse. Okay, just click on the install button here and go next, and it will install TestNG for your Eclipse. You got this one? And this is the first thing that you have to do before you start with TestNG.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now once this is done, okay, how to run tests with TestNG? All the programs start execution from the main method. We know this one already, right? In our Java programs, where does the execution starts from? It starts from main method. Okay, but in case of TestNG, you don't need to have a main method. Okay, you can create all the programming in different methods and use @test annotation before the methods. Okay, I'll show you this one. Okay, and this is one thing, like that we have to do. Okay, first you have to install TestNG. Let me close, like everything else in this one. Close all. And I am creating a new package here, and the package name is TestNG practice. Okay, I have created a new package here, TestNG practice. And the first thing you have to do is you have to install TestNG in Eclipse, and in the pom.xml you should also have something called the pom.xml should also have a Selenium TestNG dependency. In the dependencies, like if you remember, like we have added like all these dependencies, Selenium Java dependency. For reading from Excel, we have added Apache PY and PYF and OY XML dependencies, and common cyber for using file utils functionality for copying a screenshot and all those things. And for extent reports, we have used extent reports for functionality. And for log4j, we have used log4j-API, log4j-core. Okay, these are the main things that we use. You just need to remember, like only these things. And even you don't need to remember, like these ones also. Just go to Google and search for the different dependencies. Now we have to add one more dependency, which is TestNG dependency. Okay, so now let's go to Maven TestNG dependency. Okay, so if you go here, so we have like multiple versions of TestNG dependencies are there. Let us take the latest one. Okay, so if you go here, okay, this is the TestNG dependency that I am adding. Let me take this one. Let me go here under the dependency section. Okay, let me add this one. Okay, so I have added this TestNG dependency. I'm saving this one. Okay, so now it is building this. Okay, so now this is done. So the first thing is you have to install TestNG, and then you have to add the TestNG dependency. Okay. Okay, now let's go into
So once TestNG is installed, how do we know whether it's been installed? Let's say,
okay,
is there
so
any confirmation to?
yes, there is one place, like if you go to Windows preferences, okay, it will show
Uh-huh.
you it will show you TestNG here. If you
Okay.
see this TestNG, that means TestNG is installed. Just okay. The first thing is go to help and Eclipse marketplace and install TestNG. Okay. Once the
Yeah.
installation is done, then you can go to window and then go to preferences, and you can see like TestNG here. Okay, or like you can search this one also, TestNG. Okay, it will show you like TestNG here. That means TestNG is installed. Okay, so this is the first one, and the next one is you have to have the dependency, TestNG dependency. These are the two things that you should have. Now let us start writing like some scripts here. Okay, so in the car rental new, we already have like this navigator bar check. We already have this one, right? So let me take this one and let me put it here in this one. Okay, so we have this navigation bar checked. Okay, again if you see like we are using this page object model here. So the navigation bar page object model, you can see where is this one, this navigation bar. See, okay, we are using this page object model here. Okay, in the navigation bar check. Okay, are you good until this one, until this point? Are any questions? I'm just like I have just installed TestNG into this one. I have used the Maven dependency, and then I'm trying to create a script here. Just copied the existing script, which is navigation bar check. Okay, now generally in any Selenium in any Java program, where does the execution start from?
Main method.
Main method, right? But in case of TestNG, okay, when you want to use TestNG, you need to have a you don't need to, but you should not have a main method. You should not have a main method. What we do is we'll say public void, like I will give some method name which is navigation check. Okay, I will give a method name. Okay, and when I use TestNG, I will annotate this one. I will use an annotation called @test. Okay, and I have to import this one. See, again it will tell you like in the initially add TestNG library. Just click on this add TestNG library. Okay, now I will import test from arg.testng.annotation. Okay, once I import this one, then the error will go away. Okay, so I can use any name other than the main method, and I have to annotate this one with @test. Okay, now without main method, because I am using this TestNG, it will run. Okay, let me run this one, run as. Now you will see here, yeah, previously you are seeing like run as Java, what is that one, like previously you are seeing it something like, if I in a normal program, Java application, run as Java application. But in case of TestNG, if you see it, you will find it something like run as TestNG test. Okay, if you run this one, now it will start executing. Okay, so where does the execution starts? When we are using the TestNG, the execution will start from @test. So whatever it sees like @test, it will execute that one. Okay, and you should not have like a main method in this one. Okay, because it will confuse at that point whether it has to start from main method or like @test annotation method. So you should have like you should not have main method. Just change it to a different method name and use @test annotation. You got this one? Got this point? Any questions so far? Okay.
No, clear, sir.
No, sir.
Tell me like what are the different steps that we have followed so far?
First, we have installed TestNG from marketplace.
Yes.
After that, after that we pasted the dependency TestNG dependency in the pom.xml.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and after that, we have we have, because in Java we don't generally the program starts with the main method, so we have deleted the main method, and we have put the notation @ by importing the
@test. Yeah.
yeah by importing the package
Yes.
org.
That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's all we did. Okay. So we have created a new test. Okay. Of course, we have copied this one because we already have this test. Okay. We changed that main method to a different name. Okay. And then we are using @test annotation. Okay. Okay. Now let me go go to this car rental pages. Okay, in the car rental pages we have the script like that we have already created. Okay, let me copy this script. Okay, now let me change the name of this one, like instead of like navigation uh, bar check, I will change this one to car rental test. I just like change this one to car rental test. Under this one I have a navigation check test. Okay, next one is, okay, I'm creating another method here. See, I'm creating another method, public void, okay, pages test, okay, and then I'm putting like the script that we have created earlier, right? We are checking like different pages. I've put it this one under here, and I am annotating this one at the rate test. This is my another test. If you see, the first one is a navigation test, like navigation check that we are doing with at the rate test annotation, and the second one we are doing, the second test is pages test. We are going into different pages and we are verifying that the pages are loading, right? So again I have created another test here and I have annotated this one at the rate test. Okay, whatever the method in a particular class, each method is a test for me. Okay, that means one test case, navigation check bar is my one test case, and my other test is I have to go into different pages and I have to verify that. So this is my other test. That means each and every method in a TestNG class is a test. Just remember that one. Now if I run this one, run as TestNG test, it will run like both these tests. Okay, let us see this one. So the first one is it has logged in and it has, it is doing the first like first this pages test, and the second one is it is doing the navigation bar check. Okay, so if you see this console now, if you see the first one is it has done this home page pages test. It went into different pages and it verified them, and the next one is it verified the navigation bar, and you can see that both are passed. Page test is passed, navigation check is passed. Okay, these are nothing but your method names, and if you see, it is showing that the results here, test runner 2, failures are 0, skips are 0. That means both the tests are passed. Default suit, test run are 2, passes 2, failures 0, skips 0. Okay, and if you go into results of running this one, you can see like the results here also, pages test and navigation test, both are passed. Test 1 by 1, methods 2. But of course, in our case, since we are using TestNG, each method is nothing but one test for us. Okay, do you understand this one? Until this point, like are you guys clear until this point? Whatever the number of tests that we would like to do, we can have them as methods in this one. Okay, now let me see like this register new is there, right? So let me copy like this one also. Let me copy. That means I'm trying to, okay, register new. Of course, like we are not using like any okay, any page object model here, but this is fine. But I think login or registered like the people. Okay, we are using some common functions here, right? Okay, fine. Let me go into here and let me go into this TestNG practice car rental test, and I'm creating like another test here for registering a user. Okay, but like let me change this main method to public void, and I'll say register user. Okay, so now let me run this one again. So it has to run 3 tests now. One is navigation bar check, and another one is different pages verification, and another one is registering a new user. Okay, let me run this one. Run as TestNG test. Okay, first it is running the pages text, and then it is running navigation bar check. Oh, sorry, it has run like only 2 tests here. Can you tell me like what the reason why it has run only 2 tests instead of 3 tests, even though we have created like 3 tests here? Can anyone tell me? Because we haven't used @test annotation here. For all the others, other two, we have used @test annotation. That's why it has executed those two TestNG methods, but not the next one because we haven't used @test annotation. So let me save this one. Let me run it one more time. Run as TestNG test. Yeah, it is running different pages test first, and then it is executing. Yeah, it has executed the navigation bar check, and then it is executing the registered user. Okay, so now you can see the test run are 3, failures are 0. Okay, and it has passed the pages test, navigation check, and also registered user. Everything is passed. Okay, so this way in one class you can write multiple tests and you can execute like all these tests at once. Do you understand this one so far?
Yeah, so like to write the program scripts in every like in other folder, just we have to do it in the same folder in the same class basically.
You mean to say no, okay, this is just like one example I'm showing, but you can have multiple classes under this one. Okay, for example, like
Okay.
this one I have created with 3 tests, this class. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I can have another class, okay, with another set of tests, another TestNG class with another set of tests.
Okay.
Okay, so again that one you have to you'll execute individually. For example, okay, let's say this is my car rental test, like this is one thing like that I have. So let me copy the same thing and put it here, car rental test 2. Let's say this one has a different kinds of different set of tests, let us say. Okay, so you have like 3 tests under this one, which is fine. If you execute this class, it will execute like all these 3 tests, and you have another 3 set of tests under the second class, and if you execute that one, it will execute all those 3 different tests. You understand? But at least at this level, you know that like I can execute multiple tests with the same class, right? Earlier it was only one test that you are using, right, with
Yeah.
main method, but now you are executing multiple methods with one class execution. Okay, but what again, here we are individually executing. First we are executing, even though like we are executing multiple tests within the same class. Again I have to execute this class again, and I have to execute this class again. For that purpose, if you want to like execute all of this together, we have some configuration file. I will come to that point, but you understand until this point, right?
Yeah, basically we are categorizing the kind of scripts in a similar type of class and we are
Yeah,
executing them.
but at the same time, you are executing all the tests under each and every
Yeah.
method is a test here. Each and
Yes,
every
yes.
method is a test. So you are
Yeah.
executing all the tests. Okay. Yes, you are right. We are categorizing like basically within the one class we are categorizing and we are writing all the tests under this
Methods.
under that particular class belong to that particular category. You are right. But at the same time, we are writing multiple tests under the same class and we are executing multiple tests.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we have seen how to run tests with the TestNG. All the Java programs start execution from main method. In case of TestNG, you don't need to have main method. I think like we should not have main method. Just try it like having both at the rate TestNG and at the rate main having both at the rate TestNG at the rate test annotation and also main method and see what happens. Okay, you can create all the programming in different methods and use at the rate test annotation before the methods. Also, when you execute the test, you have to execute it as run as test ng. This is what like you will see when you are running. make sure that you are importing like arg.testng annotations.test, because whenever you use this like an at the right test, this is what it will be imported. Okay, the one that will be imported is by WebDriver, connected to WebDriver. See, arg.testng.annotations.test. Okay, when you use at the right test and when you import it, okay, this will be imported. Okay, and the method should be prefixed by at the rate test. Once the test is executed in the console, it will give a neat report of how many test cases are executed, okay, and how many passed and how many failed. Okay, so we have seen this one in the console. It tells you like how many are executed, like total test run are 3, because we have 3 methods in this one. Okay, failures 0, skips 0. Okay, it will give summary also. Okay, so this is what like I have shown you like this one example in this one. Okay, so now let me go into the next chapter. Okay, running tests with TestNG. Okay, Selenium TestNG, running tests with TestNG. The following example shows you 3 methods to test 3 different text boxes. Of course, this one is different, but we have already seen this one. So we have seen 3 different methods, which are nothing but 3 different tests. We have seen navigation check, and we have seen different pages, and also we have seen register user. So you can we have already seen this one, running like test with TestNG. I mean multiple methods like multiple tests how to run within the same class file. Okay, this one we have already seen this. Okay, and the next one is running multiple tests, running tests with TestNG, running multiple tests with TestNG. Yeah, okay. So now comes to this one. Okay, TestNG XML. Create different class files for different things like text boxes, text areas, check boxes, and radio buttons, etc. Okay, let me do one thing. Okay, let me create a new project like for this TestNG. Okay, so that like it will be easy for you to understand this one. Okay, so now I'm going into this one new. Okay, but you guys understand until this point, right? What we are doing, how we are configuring like TestNG, and how we are using TestNG to execute like different tests using TestNG.
Yes, sir.
You are clear until this point. Okay, I'm just
Yes.
okay, that's fine. Like I'll again like we'll start, we'll do this one again like from Monday onwards. Okay, from Monday onwards I'll create a new project for you. Okay, and we'll execute, we'll again configure like the Selenium I mean TestNG thing into form.xml. Okay, and then we'll create new page object models in that one. Okay, so you already know this page object model, right? By the time like by Monday, like I'll create like all these individual scripts. I'll copy all these individual scripts into that new project, and I'll be ready with them, so that instead of creating them like again in the new project, which will take some time. Okay, I'll copy like whatever the tests that we have done on the what is it like on the car rental. Maybe I'll create like more scripts also on the car rental pages, but you guys also start practicing with that car rental site. Okay, not only car rental site, but like you can take any other site also, any others other sites, and you can start practicing in that one. Okay, any
Yes, sir.
any questions so far? Okay, so I think like in the next 2 classes, this TestNG will be completed, and then we will see Maven. Okay, Maven we are seeing it like so far for using like only dependencies now, but like there are like some extra things that we can do. We can run the tests from Maven also, and then we will see Jenkins. Okay, and then we will see what are the different frameworks we have, and then we will see a project. And the next one is Selenium BDD. But before going into Selenium BDD, we have like a few topics in this Java, which are like this math class, integer class, and all these things. We will complete them, and then finally we will go into the Selenium BDD framework. Okay, and once we complete the Selenium BDD framework, so our your training will be completed. Okay, So I'm telling you, like, all these things. Just make sure that, like, you learn like all these things, because these will be really useful for you in your projects when you are actually working on a project. These will be definitely useful for you. Okay. Okay.
For now, so like we can have an interviews, like we can go for interviews as of now.
No, not now. Just like, wait until this TestNG is completed, because TestNG is an important one. Okay.
Okay.
TestNG is completed, then you can go for interviews.
Okay. So like when like we will be interacting with you for like giving in, like you will be giving inputs for our resume.
I mean, like, once this is completed, then I'll give you the inputs for your resume. I'll give you the some interview questions, final interview questions, and also I will also give you the tips on, like, how to face an interview. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that I will give you, like, once all these things are completed. Okay.
Okay.
But if you want
Okay.
to really go for an interview now itself, like, then wait until, like, at least this testing is completed.
Okay. So
Okay. But make sure that, like, you are like you're good with all these topics, like, that I have covered, and also, like, all the interview questions that I have covered.
yeah.
All
So
these things. Okay.
yeah.
If you if you are good, like, with all the interview questions that I am covering, 95% you will be good. Of course, in every interview, like, you may face, like, some new interview questions, but that will be kind
Mhm.
of like an experience for you. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to, like,
Because
start writing down all those new interview questions and all those things. Then you will be, like, you will become perfect. Okay.
yes.
And also one more thing, like, all these Selenium classes, like, I'm uploading them to YouTube channel. Okay. So
Yes.
instead of, like, going into Google Drive and download them, you can also go to this YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and use Subbu's Tech. Okay. So you'll see my channel here. Okay. Subbu's Tech. Once you go here, go to the playlist here. Okay. Once you go to the playlist here, in this playlist, you Selenium Java training. Like, this is what, like, you'll see. Once you go here, okay.
Mhm.
So this is the demo class, and all the classes I'm putting them, like, one by one, like class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4. So everything, like, that we are covered. This is the Java basic. This is variables, data types, methods, loops, access modifiers, and strings, and strings and return Java, this keyword, super keyword, arrays and interview questions, collections. So everything, like, how to write xmath. Okay. How to write, um, starting with why this here. Okay, so I think, like, 16 it has to go to end, but after 13 it is 14. Okay, 15, and then 16, and then, like, 17 is CSS selectors, and how to work with the text area. So I'm uploading, like, everything into this YouTube channel, so you can I mean, watch these lessons again here also. Okay.
These are the same class what you have given us, right?
Yeah, this is the same class. Like, whatever, like, I'm teaching you, like, I'm just uploading them here, so that you can check these topics here also, these things here also.
Okay. So
Okay. Okay. So any questions on TestNG so far, or any other things, like, that we have covered so far? Okay.
no, so not for me.
Yeah. I mean, see, all you have to do is, like, just practice all these things. Okay, and then prepare, like, all the interview questions that we have discussed so far. Then you'll be perfectly good for going for interviews. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah. Okay. So if you don't have any questions, then we'll meet on Monday then. Okay.
okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye bye.